According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, between 2014 and 2017, around 75% of the world's tropic coral reefs experienced heat stress severe enough to trigger bleaching. For 30% of the world's reefs, that heat stress was enough to kill coral. This quote by Michigan Scott and Rebecca Lindsay, titled Unprecedented 3 Years of Global Coral Bleaching. If you care about keeping the sea life thriving and our oceans healthy, you need to know about the global crisis called coral bleaching. In today's presentation, I will be discussing what coral bleaching is, why it matters, and a solution to solve this problem. If we don't do anything about coral bleaching soon, chances are detrimental effects will arise. This is why we must inform everyone about coral bleaching. To begin with, coral reefs range in bright colors due to microscopic algae called zooxanthellae. This is a mutual beneficial relationship between the coral and the zooxanthellae, as the algae allows for an easy food supply due to photosynthesis. This allows for algae to grow and reproduce. When the ocean's environmental changes, for example, it gets too hot, the coral gets stressed out and expels the algae, causing the color to fade, leaving it white. This is coral bleaching. If it continues to rise in temperature, the coral will not let the algae to come back, which will result in the coral dying. This happens due to pollution, increase in temperature because of global warming, runoff, and overexposure to light. According to the marineconservation.org, water pollution, overfishing, and coastal development are taking their toll on coral reefs at the local level, while carbon pollution threatens reefs worldwide and remains their biggest threat. The main reason that causes coral bleaching is global warming from carbon pollution. After discussing what coral bleaching is, next we can discuss why it matters. Coral reefs are an entire ecosystem, as people and wildlife rely on them. When coral bleaching happens, they rarely come back. The result in corals that are still alive struggle to survive as they need to reproduce. According to worldwildlife.org, coral reefs support most of the biodiverse ecosystem on the planet. Thousands of marine animals depend on coral reefs for survival, including some species of sea turtles, fish, crabs, shrimp, jellyfish, seabirds, sea stars, and many more. So many animals rely on coral reefs as they give them a home, protection for their eggs, and other predators. Not only is wildlife impacted, humans are impacted as well. Coral reefs act as a natural barrier, keeping coastal communities safe. Coral bleaching kills the coral, leaving no home or protection to the wildlife that lives there. Anyone that relies on those fish for income and protein are in trouble. Also, reef tourism generates millions of dollars. With coral being dead, you lose money and you lose jobs. Finally, how can we resolve this problem? A simple step is reducing stormwater and fertilization, as well as avoiding any chemicals that could go into waterways. The biggest step to tackle is global warming by limiting carbon emissions. We can do this by stopping the use of coal and using renewable sources. Coral restoration is a great way to help rebuild what has died and give birth to a new community. As you can see in this picture, this is a live coral, and this is when coral bleaching happens. It turns completely white. To conclude, coral bleaching happens when corals get stressed by a change in condition, making them expel their symbiotic algae living in their tissues, causing them to turn completely white. Coral bleaching matters as it affects people's livelihoods, safety, wildlife, and food security. We can solve this problem by reducing CO2 emissions, reducing runoff, and coral restoration. Thank you very much